In the case of a child's natal chart, the astrological reading will revolve especially around relationships with parents and others in general, teachers, school friends, on the definition of his talents, and consequently on the line of study most apt for him. In Georgia's chart, for example, the elements fire, earth, air, and water are all well balanced, meaning that there shouldn't be particular excesses or failings in his behavior. The square of Jupiter, Sun with the Moon, however, indicates a not easy rapport with his parents, even more so that it also involves the mid-heaven. The nadir mid-heaven axis is in fact, amongst other things, exactly that link to parental figures.
Scusa, ho sbagliato io. Andiamo a rifare.
Da dove?
Da qui.
2. The square of Jupiter, Sun with the Moon, however, indicates a not easy rapport with his parents, even more so that it also involves the mid-heaven. The nadir mid-heaven axis is in fact, amongst other things, exactly that link to parental figures. Sun-Moon square may mean that in the family there's an exchange of roles. That is, the mother is more masculine and the father more feminine, or the mother plays the part of the victim and the father the tyrant, or simply that they don't get on. The presence of Mars retrograde in the 4th house, which by the way is that of the family of origin, confirms that in the family there's a little aggression, and that Giorgio, absorbing this atmosphere, may in his turn become verbally aggressive. Since this Mars is in opposition with Giorgio's Mercury in the 10th house. Saturn too in the 7th square Mars would lead to think that Giorgio's relationships with others are rather difficult generally. Since the northern node of Giorgio is in Aries, 3rd house, while the southern node is in Libra, 9th house, one of the aims of Giorgio's evolutionary destiny is that of improving communication with others, whilst affirming himself without being overcome by the will or ways of others. It is a case of finding a lifelong, correct, subtle balance between one's own will and that of others, one's well-being and that of others. Venus conjunct Pluto in the 12th house makes one think of past sufferings and affections going back to former lives, or as we have already seen in this part of the site, belonging to the archetypes in the Jungian sense, of which each of us is a bearer. Venus conjunct Pluto forms a grand trine of fire with the northern node in the 3rd house and Saturn in the 7th. And this trine leads one to think that Giorgio will be able to achieve his evolution and overcome the hurts in his affections. Saturn, which besides being in the 7th house, is also to be found in the Leo sign, would conjure up an idea of difficulty in the expression of creativity. This child, then, should be encouraged, to express himself verbally and creatively, and ought to live in a more serene atmosphere. As regards his talents, he has great intuition, as Mercury in Scorpio witnesses, and he has a vocation for work in psychotherapy. Pluto in the 12th house, conjunct Venus in Sagittarius, or work to do with energy therapy and or environmentally aware advanced technologies. Uranus in the 2nd house, Pisces. He should not be sent to a conventional school, but one in which there is more attention for him and all the sensitive sides of life, like a Steiner school. The midheaven in Scorpio, conjunct the Sun, confirms his propensity. The Sun, Jupiter, and the fortune part in the 9th house indicate professional success, above all abroad.